Hey everyone, this is Greg with Spotted Tongue Woodworking. This is the white oak table that I had made. As you can see, it does not have finish on the top. There was one spot that I had actually fixed and refinished that ended up not blending the way I had hoped it would blend. I got called out on it, and really, truthfully, what I should have done from the beginning was I should have sanded it off. I should have refinished it from the beginning instead of trying to get away with it. So here we are. Sanded the old Rubio finish off. I actually had put finish on yesterday and it turned green. I believe there was a reaction with the plastic spreader that I used. There was color bleed from the gloves, which doesn't make sense because they're the same gloves I've used every other time I've used this product. But there was a green color bleed, green reaction in the wood, plastic, finish, gloves, something. The only thing that's changed is the plastic, so I'm not going to use that plastic spreader. Sanded everything off again, water popped it, sanded it, cleaned it off with mineral spirits, let that dry, and so there is no dust on this table. We're going to put the finish on there and sand it to 120 grit as per the Rubio recommendations, and I'm really hoping that everything goes right this time. That's it. That's the first coat. Rubio Monocoat, you put it on, and you need to scrub it in. They make applicator pads. I use a white Scotch-Brite pad, and you rub it in, you buff it into the surface, and then you wipe it off. The idea, they claim that you can't wipe too much off, but you can wipe off too little. If you don't wipe off enough, you leave a little bit of the oil or the wax, it'll dry hard, and we're not going to be able to get it off, and you'll feel that in the finish. So the first, a single coat, a very matte, very flat finish. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry for a couple hours, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to put a second coat over the top of this. It'll hopefully, not hopefully, it'll blend the color a little bit better. It'll get a little bit richer. It'll up the sheen a little bit to go from a matte to more of a satin, and just give a little bit more protection. It's not layering the finish that gives it the protection. It's the finish binding with the wood. The Rubio Monocoat literature is that the finish forms a molecular bond with the wood fibers. That's why when you sand it, you need to vacuum it, you need to clean it, you need to wipe off all the extra dust. If you don't wipe off that extra dust, what's going to happen is that as you're putting it on the surface of the table, instead of bonding to the table at the top or whatever you're putting, instead of bonding to the object itself, the finish, the Rubio Monocoat, as you're spreading it around, it is mixing with the sawdust, and it's actually bonding with the sawdust and is instead forming a film finish over the top of the table and not actually protecting the worktop itself. So that's it. Here we are. This is chocolate on white oak.